Hi everyone, Anthony here and welcome for another video. Sunshine outside, so I will stay inside for my case because I don't really like when it's getting too hot. So I think it's the time for a video for you. So today I've bought something a bit special. I was a bit crazy. I was curious by myself, of course. I'm not buying this for the video, of course, because it's a cost. You really understand what I will talk about today. It's a cost. So the thing is, this bad boy, you will see it closer after. What is it? It's an SSD, but in the IDE interface, so the older version for older computers or computers where you don't find a serial ATA port. We'll put this back again. This one is from Trescent. I have no sponsor with Trescent, nothing. That's just my curiosity, myself, having an opinion about that. I'm starting to have a bad one just due to the price, but I want to check that with performance. We will see that with a computer I've probably never used for one of my videos of my experiment, so it will be funny. Let's go. Okay, this is the subject today. The computer which will have the hardest drive, well, the solid state drive. This is a computer I never do something on a video with it except to introduce you when I introduce all my computer. It's a Fujitsu Siemens Amilo from 2001-2002. That's a really old computer. It's still working really great. Well, for its age. It clearly didn't like as a new one. We'll make the complete show perfect. We have a Pentium 4 in there, which is not that bad for a laptop. A Pentium 4, not a Pentium 4M, a real Pentium 4. Originally delivered with Windows XP. 512 megs of RAM and 30 gigs hard disk drive. The modification done on this computer is that it was upgraded to Windows 7 even if it wasn't capable at stock, and upgraded to 768 megs of RAM. You don't even have 1 gigs of RAM, so it's a very low spec computer. And because it is an IDE drive, as I told you, we will try to put these things, which is a parallel ATA SSD, on this machine. We will open it for the first time, and here we go. Let's take it and see how good it is. Look. Well, at first it didn't look like that bad. It's even pretty good. I won't open it to see what's inside because I don't really care. The only thing I want to know is that this thing is extremely necessary or not. I will make my opinion about that. And because there were no sponsor with Trescent, I can say whatever I want. So if I want to say this is a piece of shit, well, after test, I can. Now, it probably won't be like that, but I want an opinion anyway. So, it will replace the hard disk drive stock here, 30 gigs, 32 gigs. What an amazing difference. And to make the upgrade, we need something to clone the original disk because I won't reinstall anything. I don't want. The only thing I've got is this. It's a universal adapter for 2.5 inch HDD IDE, 3.5 inch HDD IDE, and also serial ATA HDD. Of course, SSD works too. Works with a USB cable. You need to power that with a Molex also, which it's not a problem for me because I will use my own computer to doing that, because we have Molex. We have Molex on my PSU, so I can't power these things, and I was able to boot the Iron's boot CD, the version with Windows 10, which is not a bad thing at all. Well, of course, there were lots of other ways to clone a hard disk drive. You can use CloneZilla, for example, because it's done for that. There were several things to do that. In this case, because I have only one interface like that, I will make first an image, well, like a backup, for example, and then I will make a restore, but on the SSD, and with the readjustment of the partition size. With all that said, let's try that. I will remove first the hard disk drive. There are a number for doing that in the correct way. And here we go, the IBM Travel Star hard disk drive. Oh god, an IBM hard disk drive, still working extremely nice for its age. Really, it's from March 2002. Well, maybe also the computer is from 2002, because I'm seeing it's the original one. So maybe 2002, but it's still saying that this computer is 18 years old and still working. Amazing. And is this will improve performance on an under-spec computer for Windows 7 and a so old computer? That's the objective today. Pretty sure yes, but by how much? Yeah, you will see now with me with a t-shirt, because it's getting too hot, so yeah, I'm just getting cooler. Let's get ready everything. Maybe a day I will do something with the Iron's boot CD to show you how it works, if I want to make something interesting with technical software like this, because I think it could troubleshoot some people sometimes, and it's not that hard to do. Well, here I will just make a clone, but it will be first an image like a backup and then a restore on the overdrive. But it's like a clone, of course. So I have the USB drive with Iron's boot CD. It's a 750 gigs, two partition, one to boot that, the other just to make data. Data will be written directly on it. There are lots of software. The one it will interest me is AOME Backuper. And just before I saying and showing the program, I even don't know if the hard disk drive was detected. I need to check that first, of course, because if it didn't, it seems that there is a problem. But normally, no. Because I can heard it, you probably heard it too. Nostalgic of old hard disk drive sound. It's just amazing. That's something for sure. You will lose it with that. Everything is quite long, and that's not normal. So probably he didn't see the hard disk drive. So again, we'll check that. What could be a possible problem here? It's an AD hard disk drive. So for young people or for people who they didn't know that, who they didn't notice. On old hard disk drive like this, you can see here on the 4 pins, the show of the 4 pins, device 0, jumper device 1, or cable select. That's something you must care. without any jumper, it sees that it's a device 0, but there is no jumper here, so it looks like a device 0, but it's not a device 0, of course. Then in this situation, must use a jumper, but I don't know why it doesn't be in the drive, so I will use the one of the SSD. Is it a problem? The answer is no, because a jumper is a jumper. It's something like this. Fine, I don't know if you can see it, probably yes. And then on this situation, I will do it on the cable select. Computer a bit modern will work just fine with that. That's the 2 on the low. Ooh. So something like this. Focus, do your job. Right? And it corresponds to this. We will try now. Fine, the video take a turn after hours and hours and a day later for this result. 7B is an inaccessible boot device error for people who they don't know, but pretty sure that's the one of the most common error with a blue screen of death error on Windows. Fine, so to explain the context, actually is the SSD, the installation passed just fine, Windows boot once, but after that, after a power off and a turn on again, everything I've done, nothing works, and we're still with the blue screen of death. I've reinstalled Windows 7 on the hard disk drive here without any problem. It's a bit slow, but well, it's still fine and still working nice, but not on the SSD. So it will just be a conclusion and not a comparison between both of us to say that for me, no, this kind of SSD is not good at all. Not good at all. The computer see it perfectly. If I change the jumper, for cable select, for example, and not the master or slave or device 0, device 1, it works just fine. It works just fine on device 0 and not on cable select. Don't understand at all. So we are locked here. I try to repair Windows. I said everything I know to troubleshoot the problem, and we're still locked on the 7B error. This error makes no sense on this computer due to the IDE interface. It's already an IDE interface, so you have no modification in the BIOS for that. It's impossible to get this error except if you take a serial ATA drive, for example, and putting in a computer which support only the IDE compatible mode. No, here it's an IDE mode, and it cannot be something else. So I don't understand. So that's the conclusion. If you thinking I'm doing something wrong or you need to make something more on this machine, let me know in the comment. I'm really curious. Before saying this is a total piece of shit, and just don't buy it. For your information, I've bought it for 60 euros. Can make the conversion, or it will be right on just here. 16 euros for 32 gigabyte, and for this result. So it's quite expensive. My advice anyway, even if it was working for sure, take an adapter with an mSATA to the IDE drive. It will be clearly less expensive. That's my advice. The only advantage to use an SSD with this format, 2.5 inch, is just to make things clean on the computer while building. I will make the pause a moment. So I didn't put the cover back, these things, but anyway, with the optical drive, it just push here and this stay flat. I say that just to make something clean, because it's in the correct format, but that's the only real advantage. If for anything else, no. for anything else. No, I don't see the necessary of that. Well, so I make this conclusion. This is a video that it turned to another world, and we won't compare it, but just make a conclusion about that, and it's a -1. But again, if you think I'm doing something wrong, let me know in the comment, and I will get a look on everything I can read. I keep the SSD for another occasion minimum. For example, one I will get, because I'm pretty sure I can have one iBook. So with maybe macOS it will run differently, and maybe it will work just fine. I'm curious about that. I keep that for this occasion, and it's okay for now. And then to conclude, I just want to say that, well, it's maybe not a piece of shit, I can't say that, but it simply didn't work on this machine. So there were several problems. First of all, my adapter for cloning the disk seems to not working properly. I didn't say it, but I've tried also to reinstall Windows 7 on the hard disk drive. Nothing happened, so this is not a hard disk drive problem. And when I install, as you just see, Windows 7 on the SSD, it makes me the blue screen. So clearly we can talk about the SSD itself, and on this machine it didn't work at all. If you want to use it as a data drive, it seems to be okay, because BIOS see it, the Windows installation see it, so you can format it and use it as a data drive. In this case, the 7B error just won't happen, and then it's fine. But now the objective is to use it as a primary drive with Windows installed, and on this kind of machine, all the ones like that, it only have one IDE slot, so in this point it won't be okay. Some of you can also say, after a small reflection, that I can use Linux. It's true, I can try it, but because the computer has Windows 7 and I don't want to change it, I just want to have a better drive, just to be sure that it boot a bit faster and load a bit faster, and even if it swap, is doing that a bit faster. That was the objective, not changing the operating system. But yes, probably some of you will be right to say that Linux maybe work on this machine. Maybe I will give it a try. But now, if I have another machine, I won't record it for you, but I will try it. I will make another try, I want to say, and check if it will work. If it's not on a Windows PC, why not on an iBook? Because iBook have IDE drives too, and reinstalling the macOS operating system, maybe it won't be a problem at all, and maybe the macOS system will run perfectly fine or better than if it was a hard disk drive. My device actually still to use an mSATA drive, for example, and put a bay adapter for that and use it as a normal IDE SSD drive. With that, it's less expensive, and even if it didn't work, you clearly lose less money. So it's probably better to try first like this. Hope you liked the video, guys. Thanks for watching it. Leave a comment if you want, and you're free to do that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the like button, and I hope I will catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everyone.